It is our choices that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities. Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. The world is full of wonderful things you haven't seen yet. Don't ever give up on the chance of seeing them. Do not pity the dead, Harry. Pity the living, and above all, those who live without love. We do not need magic to change the world. We carry all the power we need inside ourselves already. We have the power to imagine better. It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends. Failure means a stripping away of the inessential. The knowledge that you have emerged wiser and stronger from setbacks means that you are, ever after, secure in your ability to survive. The best of us sometimes eat our words. You sort of start thinking anything's possible if you've got enough nerve. The stories we love best do live in us forever. Imagination is not only the uniquely human capacity to envision that which is not, and therefore the fount of all invention and innovation. In its arguably most transformative and revelatory capacity, it is the power that enables us to empathize with humans whose experiences we have never shared. It is impossible to live without failing at something unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you have failed by default. Differences of habit and language are nothing at all if our aims are identical and our hearts are open. The most important thing is to read as much as you can, like I did. It will give you an understanding of what makes good writing and it will enlarge your vocabulary. Understanding is the first step to acceptance, and only with acceptance can there be recovery. We're all human, aren't we? Every human life is worth the same, and worth saving. The world is full of monsters with friendly faces. You can't choose what happens to you, but you can choose your reaction to it. It does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live. You will never truly know yourself, or the strength of your relationships, until both have been tested by adversity. Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. I am not going to stand here and tell you that failure is fun. That period of my life was a dark one, and I had no idea that there was going to be what the press has since represented as a kind of fairy tale resolution. The truth. It is a beautiful and terrible thing, and should, therefore, be treated with caution. We can choose between what is right and what is easy. There's always room for a story that can transport people to another place. You have a moral responsibility when you've been given far more than you need, to do wise things with it and give intelligently. Indifference and neglect often do much more damage than outright dislike. There is an expiry date on blaming your parents for steering you in the wrong direction. The moment you are old enough to take the wheel, responsibility lies with you. The mind is not a book, to be opened at will and examined at leisure. I was set free because my greatest fear had been realized, and I still had a daughter who I adored, and I had an old typewriter and a big idea. And so rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. Never be ashamed. There's some who'll hold it against you, but they're not worth bothering with. It is our choices that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities. The world had teeth and it could bite you with them anytime it wanted. I've got 2 daughters who will have to make their way in this skinny obsessed world, and it worries me because I don't want them to be empty-headed, self-obsessed, emaciated clones. I'd rather they were independent, interesting, idealistic, kind, opinionated, original, funny, 1,000 things. Before then. The first story I finished was when I was 6 or 7. I wrote a story about a rabbit called Rabbit. He got the measles and was visited by his friends, including a giant bee called Miss Bee. Which quote do you like the most? Please give your opinion in the comments column below. Don't miss the next video, subscribe now. Thank you for watching.